Good evening and welcome to your Monday edition of FSU Weather, where we have gorgeous sunset setting up over the stadium. Notice there's some clouds in the sky, and that's going to cause some scattering of the sun's rays, which will give us some pretty colors in the sunset tonight. So be sure to go ahead and take a peek outside at your sunset. Temperature-wise, we're looking great for the rest of the evening. Very mild fall conditions in the Tallahassee region with 83 degrees right now and a light northeasterly wind. And as we go ahead and zoom out to the big picture, notice we do have this area of upper level clouds stretching from the Gulf of Mexico up into Georgia. And you'll notice we might be getting a cold front. We'll see if that is going to eventually run into our area. But for tonight, no chances of rain, just going to be 72 and partly cloudy. Great night to get out and explore places like Cascades Park. Tomorrow, 84 and partly cloudy. More sun ahead, tropics are quieting down, and a rehash of Hurricane Michael. That and more tonight on FSU Weather.
Good afternoon, Tallahassee. I am student meteorologist Allie McCord. Here's a view of Doak Campbell Stadium right now. You see this nice sunset right now coming over this afternoon. It is currently 83 degrees here in Tallahassee. The clouds are cloudy, or skies are cloudy with winds at 7 miles per hour. Looking at our radar over here, we have a lot of cloud cover over our area, little pop-up showers over Tallahassee. And if you want to look down more south, you can see scattered showers in the peninsula of Florida. Looking at our temperatures right now for the Panhandle, we have 80 degrees right now in Apalachicola and 83 right now in Tallahassee, just mostly in the low 80s across our region. Right now, our dew points are kind of low, still not the best we've seen in the recent couple days, but better than they have been lately. We have 64 right now in Tallahassee, 68 in Appalach, 67 in Perry, and we like these dew points at these temperatures because it's not as hot outside and it's not very muggy. Looking at the wind speeds for the Big Bend, we have a lot of these winds pointing up inland because of sea breeze occurring in the afternoon. 7 in Appalach, 7 in Tallahassee. Tallahassee's going a little weird direction right now, and 5 in St. Mark's. Perry, I don't know why you are pointing in the opposite direction of everybody else currently. Future radar for the Big Bend. We have a lot of cloud cover over the interstate, kind of over this area of Tallahassee and the rest of the Panhandle. A lot of showers behind me, as you can see right here, over towards Gainesville and Perry area, or not Perry, but Ocala area. Just a lot of stuff coming up from the east. Our day planner for tomorrow, it's sunny. We have 69 in the morning, so if you want to go out, that's probably the best day. Good temperature on your way to class, and it's going to kind of remain. We're going to reach the 80s later in the day. Looking at our week ahead, we have a beautiful week. Look at all this sunshine. 80s throughout the week and in the 60s the beginning of this week. So I just think these are great temperatures, great thing to experience this week. Slight chance of clouds plaguing us later in the week, but nothing too terrible for us. But I'm going to go ahead and pass things over to Jonathan to give us a look at our southeast.
Yeah, so zooming out across the southeastern region, you'll notice we've been talking about these sort of mild fall temperatures, and that's certainly not true for Texas right now, but we're starting to go down the temperature slope. We're not seeing the 90s on the map anymore, and that's also going to be reflected in our dew points. I don't know why the dew point contour has been acting up as of late. We're going to have to take a look into that, but notice you're going to see a very steep contrast from the areas around the coast and the areas more inland. And that's because, as I mentioned in the overview, we sort of have a frontal system that is approaching us from the west. Whether or not that makes it into Florida, we'll have to see that later. But winds, you can really tell where that front is. Where you see this, well, down in Tallahassee, we're just going to ignore this because we have a smaller scale feature called the sea breeze happening. But looking at the bigger picture, these northerly winds are out ahead of the front, bringing warm air north, and then behind the front we have westerly winds bringing in cooler, drier air, and that's going to be reflected on our satellite and radar. Not much organized convection happening over the Florida peninsula, but an organized line of storms stretching down from Indianapolis down into Tennessee, and it sort of dies out over Mississippi, and that's because we have this dry air coming in behind the system, and that is unfortunately, well, fortunately, depending on how you look at it, going to keep conditions dry where we are. Looking ahead at our storm outlook, notice slight risk of severe weather up in Illinois. I know they had some tornadoes there tomorrow. They had some tornadoes there today, but looking at tomorrow, tomorrow's the big day. An enhanced risk, 1 category less than the moderate yesterday across the Oklahoma City metro, but another chance of severe weather across the Great Plains. So sort of this second severe weather season is really starting to ramp up, and we'll have to keep an eye out for that down here in Tallahassee. J3, that same sort of parallel system right now, where we're going to have a significant severe weather threat in the Central Plains. Then as it pushes east, the system weakens, and we get a less potent severe weather threat up north, and not really much happening down south, and that's going to be because of that drier air. As we look at our future radar, notice the boundary eventually sort of elongates and stretches out, and we don't really get much of the organized convection pushing into Tallahassee. But behind me, notice there's another one coming. So we'll have to keep watching this pattern as we go around for the next few weeks. But for Jackson, Mississippi tomorrow, 81 degrees, scattered showers. They're going to be getting the tail end of that cold front, and temperatures will be dropping down into 71 overnight with that 88 tomorrow. Conditions across the southeast are going to be more mild, and that is because that cold front is not going to push in, bringing any super synoptic scale, forcing to give us thunderstorms. And for more on our local lifestyle affected here in Tallahassee, here's Jesse.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go back to the local weather here. We're seeing tons of clouds in our area over the Sportsplex. We're seeing just that one fat man out in the distance. And Panama City, lots of clouds covering up the sun. Sun is beautiful out there. I'm actually going to be in Panama City Beach this weekend, so don't worry, I'll come back next week and let you guys know how the weather is there. Tallahassee, and if you're flying to pretty much anywhere on our map right now, also looking like great weather. It's a little bit cooler if you're going to Los Angeles, 68, Orlando, warmer, 82. Make sure you keep an eye on those temperatures if you are flying out. Be prepared. Tonight, Monday Night Football, Colts versus Ravens. Ravens obviously favored to win. It's going to be cloudy and 65, so if you are in the area, if you want to go to the game, I'd bring a jacket because, you know, it's going to be dark, it's going to be chilly. Should be a good game, though, if you want to tune in. As for tonight, if you're looking to maybe go stargazing, probably not here in Tallahassee, maybe too much light pollution, but it's looking like it's going to be great conditions. Hopefully those clouds will stay away long enough for you guys to get a good view. As for our dog walk forecast, I'm going to scoot over so you guys can see my roommate's puppy. Her name's Amelia. And if you want to walk your dog tomorrow morning, 66 degrees. That's pretty chilly. If you want to wake up at 7 a.m., if you want to feel temperatures in the 60s, between 7 and 9 is your best bet. We're looking at 69 at 9 a.m. Things are going to really heat up throughout the morning. By 11 a.m., you're looking at temperatures of 79. Honestly, still not bad if you do want to walk your dog when it's 79 degrees. Can't complain. As long as that rain's not around, your dog's going to have a great time. Hopefully, you will too. As for this weekend, as we're looking at Friday night, it's going to be 80 degrees. It should be mostly clear. Maybe a few clouds will be hanging around. But as you look towards the end of the week, if you have any plans, it's going to be absolutely beautiful weather. If you don't have plans, start making them now. As for this weekend, we're seeing mostly sunny conditions once again. Maybe some clouds. Hopefully those are going to stay out of the way. So if you do want to go to the res, it's going to be about 82 degrees. Slight breeze. Should be really good conditions though, especially if you hold off until Sunday. It's going to be a perfect day to be out on the lake or even go down to the beach like I am. School week planner, Tuesday we're looking at sunny. Wednesday, also sunny. Thursday and Friday, clouds might roll in. We're looking at temperatures all across the board in the high 80s. Fingers crossed we will not hit 90s, which means this week it should be fairly comfortable, but it is going to be warm, so might want to hold on to those shorts and t-shirts for a little bit longer. Fall isn't here quite yet, unfortunately, but we are still in hurricane season, so I'm going to pass things off to Tyler. He's going to give us a look at the tropics.
Thanks, Jesse. Things have been pretty quiet here in the tropics for the U.S., and it's really going to stay that way for the near future. So looking at our name list for the hurricane season, we've gone through almost every name on the list now, the only name left being Wanda. But I don't expect Wanda to be named anytime soon. There are two areas of invest that we are looking at right now in the Atlantic Ocean, close to Haiti, and getting a little bit further to the south in the Atlantic Ocean towards some of these islands over here. So let's zoom into the first one. The infrared satellite is showing a little bit more convection building up with this system, but fortunately it's going to move into a region of higher wind shear and just unfavorable conditions in general. So not expecting much of a chance for this system to develop. 0% chance over the next 2 days. Over the next 5 days, only about a 10% chance of development here. Let's move a little bit further to the east for our other tropical wave. Seeing a little bit more circulation associated with this one, moving counterclockwise, and some more convection on the east side. But a very similar story to our last system. We're not expecting much development here, only about a 10% chance of development over the next 48 hours, and over the next 5 days, pretty low chance of development overall. So still want to keep an eye on these systems since they do exist, but the likelihood that they impact us or even develop into a tropical depression or tropical storm is pretty low. Rainfall forecast for these islands, though, they are going to bring some rain, even if these systems don't develop. Anywhere from about ½ an inch of rain, getting up to 5 inches of rain, depending on where you're at in these islands. So if we do end up naming Wanda anytime soon, we do have a backup list of names. We are no longer using the Greek alphabet to name any of our storms. So here they are right here, starting with Adria, moving all the way down, Heath, and just moving through the names. Last one, Will here. So we are not using the Greek alphabet anymore. If we happen to go through all the names, we'll just start moving through these lists of names here. So that's all we have for the tropical segment. I'm going to pass things off to the desk now with Allie Ann and Jonathan.
So continuing on the subject of tropical meteorology, 3 years ago yesterday, Hurricane Michael made a historic landfall along the coast of Florida's Panhandle, and my peer here, Allie Ann, lived through it. So
I did experience it.
How was your experience in Michael?
First, I was pretty excited. I'm like, oh, I get to experience a huge storm, but then as it was landing, I would say it was pretty terrifying. I was actually about 3 miles from the eye during its northward track towards Georgia.
So you were in the most intense part of the storm, because we know
Yes,
that's
I was
right
on the
outside of
tornadic.
the eye.
Yes, I was on the tornadic east side of it.
So that must have been
Terrifying,
an
yes.
experience. So you certainly understand the emotions that communities face when they go through
My
these
community
types
is
of
still
systems.
rebuilding after even 3 years today. But Hurricane Michael was the first Cat 5 to ever land in the Panhandle in the U.S.
Yes,
So,
and it was the most recent Cat 5 to make landfall in the United States, period. Only 4 storms have made landfall of that intensity, just giving you a scope of how historic and strong this one storm was.
Yeah. Another big fact about Michael was how strong the winds were coming in. It would made landfall in Mexico Beach with 155-mile-per-hour winds. And Mexico Beach is really close to my home, and seeing it completely flooded was absolutely devastating for me.
Yeah, so we have mentioned some of these communities still haven't really built up today. So when you're going to the beach in those parts of the Panhandle, just keep in mind that the scars of these storms are going to remain there. I know as you're driving along I-10, you'll still witness some of the tree destruction that still exists. And really keep those communities in mind, because just when the news coverage stops of a disaster, it does not necessarily mean that the impacts of the disaster have stopped.
Like a lot of the hurricane season, how Hurricane 2020 season battered Louisiana. Louisiana is still building off of these from those storms that hit last year and the storms that hit this year.
Yeah, Ida has certainly left parts of Louisiana in the same state that Michael did. And here's actually a picture
of my sister. This is a part of my property, and that was a giant oak tree that we recently just cleared a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and so just to give you a scope of both how strong and how long it takes to clean up from these storms, that is not a 1-hour job with a chainsaw.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
That's a couple weeks right there.
Yeah, but zooming back into the Tallahassee region, we didn't experience that much impacts today. Their power actually stayed on campus, but Jesse's going to take a look and see, do we have anything else on the horizon for us here in Tally?
I do remember Hurricane Michael here in Tallahassee. I stayed, rode out the storm. Like Jonathan said, we very thankfully did not lose power. We did get a few days off school, which honestly I could not complain about. Here's that sun setting right over Doak Campbell Stadium. Looks awesome. As that sun keeps going down, we're going to see those pretty colors throughout the clouds. Hopefully the clouds will stay away to give us that kind of nice sunset. It's going to happen around 7:10 if you are interested in maybe finding a parking garage to watch. Tonight, 83, cloudy, little bit of a breeze, but really not that bad. Like I said, watching the sunset tonight would be a great idea if you have the resources to do so. And here, satellite radar, a little bit of clouds all over the Big Bend region. More clouds coming our way as you look up to the west, and they're going to continue to just push towards Tallahassee. Thankfully, we're not seeing any rain here, despite all this upper level water vapor. So we have that upper layer of clouds. Here's some dry air coming our way as well. It's going to continue to flood into this area. We are going to see clouds going into tonight and into tomorrow as well, at least in the early morning. Here in Tallahassee, once again, we're seeing winds from the northeast, 7 miles per hour, so a little bit of a breeze out there. St. Mark's, they're seeing 5-mile-per-hour winds coming up from the Gulf. There's that sea breeze we were talking about earlier. Apalachicola is seeing it too, 7 miles per hour, once again up from the Gulf. As you look further north, we're seeing a little bit of an easterly flow, 5 miles per hour in Thomasville. Really just a little bit of breeze throughout the Big Bend region. Nothing too serious there. Here in Tallahassee, we're looking at 83, a little bit of clouds. Further to the north, we're seeing a little bit of clouds as well. Thomasville at 81, Quincy at 81 as well. 1 degree cooler at the coast, Apalachicola, 80 degrees down there. They're actually not seeing any cloudy skies currently. Looks like the sun's out there. Once again, great time to be at the beach, really all this week. If you have a day off school, highly recommend. It's going to be absolutely beautiful weather. As for Tallahassee, once again, dew points at 64 degrees. It is a little muggy outside. I know when I was walking around between class, I complained to one of my friends and I said, why is it so hot? Well, it feels pretty bad because our dew points are still fairly high, a little bit higher over in Quincy too at 70 degrees. So it is still muggy as that water vapor is in our region, but hopefully things are going to feel better as we go throughout the week. Once again here, 84 in Tallahassee, so we're right about where it feels like temperature is equal to the temperature. And once again, here's that future radar coming through. We got those clouds passing through, maybe some showers up to the north, and even throughout tomorrow in the middle of the day, we see those showers and those clouds flood back in. Tallahassee should stay dry. I always keep my umbrella in my backpack just in case, but we're just looking at clouds here tomorrow. And once again, we got 69 in the morning. As we go throughout the day, it's going to warm up. We're hopefully going to stay away from 90, but it's still going to be pretty warm as you go into the afternoon. So wear shorts, wear a t-shirt, be prepared for that. As we go throughout the week, we're going to see those clouds hang around. Once again, highs are going to stay in the 80s, and the only chance of rain we see is Saturday, but hopefully that's going to stay away as well so that we can have a nice weekend with no rain. But for now, I'm going to pass things off to Tyler. He's going to take us to look at the big picture.
Thanks, Jesse. We've talked a lot about Tallahassee and Florida. So let's zoom out to the bigger picture, talking about the whole United States. Southeast, going to keep warm for the rest of the day. Getting into the northeast, a little bit cooler. Boston at 65 degrees right now. Moving further to our west, seeing some cooler temperatures. Billings at 35 degrees with some rain falling there. In Seattle, 52 degrees right now. And those dew points for the regions pretty low in the northwest. In Billings with that dew point of 29 degrees, even though that does look low, not quite dry there since the dew point is so close to the actual temperature. Actually quite a lot of moisture right there in Montana. Moving into the southeast, seeing some drier conditions for the most part. Those dew points about 20 degrees cooler than the temperatures in the southeast. Atlanta, 61 degrees for that dew point right now. Satellite and radar is going to show us what's really going on with the weather here in the U.S. A lot of severe weather moving through Illinois and Indiana right now, as well as southern Wisconsin and western Michigan, with a tornado watch actually there in northern Illinois. And if we take a look at the upper level water vapor, you're going to see where some of the more severe cells of thunderstorms could be, with the brighter colors indicating higher cloud tops and stronger severe weather. So not seeing too much right now where we're seeing the tornado watch, but those could strengthen to become stronger as we go throughout the night. Some active alerts for the U.S. Once again, that yellow is a tornado watch, with the orange being a severe thunderstorm warning. And then moving off to our west, some winter weather advisories here in Wyoming and southern Montana, getting into Idaho as well, where they're seeing some possible snowfall there in October. Satellite for the northeast, not really showing too much going on there. A little bit of rainfall there in Delaware, but mostly just seeing some cloudy skies throughout the New England region. Over to our west, some of that snowfall I was talking about before, just to the west of Idaho Falls, Idaho right there, and getting into Billings, Montana, seeing some snowfall there as well. So that's why you're seeing the winter weather advisories there in the northwest. Going down to the south, not really seeing too much in Texas and New Mexico. Pretty dry conditions overall. Our drought monitor showing that some of that snowfall and rainfall there in the northwest could really help with the droughts there, seeing an exceptional drought in a lot of the states in the western portion of the U.S. And then moving into the southeast, just some scattered rainfall there in Florida and some cloud coverage there on the east coast. So today's storm outlook, seeing some possible severe thunderstorms there with a slight risk in Illinois, that yellow indicating a 2 out of 5 risk of seeing a severe thunderstorm. Tomorrow, the severe weather moves back to the west into Oklahoma and Kansas with that enhanced weather risk. And then going into day 3, not quite as much severe weather going to be active there, but is moving back into Illinois with that marginal risk. So tonight's forecast, Tallahassee going to get down to 67 degrees, Atlanta 64, going to keep things cool out west. Salt Lake City going to be 35 degrees for that low. Then tomorrow's forecast, Tallahassee going to get pretty warm again. Seattle going to be rainy and 52 degrees. Not much to surprise for the rainy city there. Now going to pass things off to Allie-Ann to take a look at Florida.
Thank you, Tyler. Now, looking at Florida, we have great temperatures all over. Look at this, 80s across the board, except Jacksonville's being a little funky, but sunny skies, partially sunny skies everywhere over the states right now. Taking a closer look at the dew points for our area, we have 64 in Tallahassee, which is pretty great for us in, up here in the Panhandle, but 70 out in Pensacola, and then in the 70s down throughout the peninsula, except for Fort Myers and Tampa. The weather is great in Tampa right now. I was there yesterday, just saying that. Looking at our satellite radar for the from Florida, we have showers or pocket showers, just pop-up showers all across the peninsula. A lot of convection going on over here on the Bahamas and like down now near South Florida, but nothing that's really super serious for the peninsula at all. Take a closer look down here in Miami in the Keys area. Like I said, a lot of convection occurring over down this part on the east of Florida, and then showers just randomly popping up all over near the Everglades and Miami in Fort Myers. Right now it is currently 87, or it's going to be 87 tomorrow in Miami, 87 just across the board next week, and then sunny skies today and tomorrow, and then a chance of rain on Thursday. Looking at Tampa in the 90s, same kind of conditions for Tampa as in Miami, just the, probably the same kind of system going to push up in the next couple of days. Oh, my bad, I skipped Orlando. 80s in Orlando in the same kind of conditions. Pop-up showers also through central Florida and on this area. We have probably not the best day to go to Disney, or you can if you want. It's not really that much rain, nothing we are super worried about. Looking over here in Jacksonville, a lot of these showers down near Ocala and Daytona Beach, nothing really plaguing Jacksonville or Gainesville right now. Right now, it's going to be, or tomorrow we're looking at Jacksonville. We're in the 80s throughout the week in Jacksonville. Cloudy skies, great conditions for Jacksonville area. Now we're going to hop all the way over to West Florida and look at Pensacola. In the 80s again for Florida, 85 throughout the rest of the week in Pensacola. Clear skies, cloudy skies, something that we just are normal Florida weather for us. Here's a satellite radar of the Panhandle. Just mostly cloudy skies. We have a pop-up shower here near Defuniak, and then one also near Tallahassee that's happening later or today. But mostly just cloudy skies moving over our area. Getting tonight's low temps in Florida, we are in the 60s in the Panhandle, and then in the 70s the rest of Florida down south. But just great weather for today us in Florida. Looking at tomorrow's highs, we're in the 80s in the North Florida and then in the 90s down south, which is pretty relative for our area and just very common Florida weather. But now I'm going to pass things off over to Jonathan to give us a closer look at our local weather.
Yeah, so Allie-Ann's writing off of the sugar high from a Harry Styles concert in Tampa last night, so she got to do the Florida segment, and I'm zooming back into Tallahassee where we have this gorgeous sunset, as I previously mentioned, setting up over Doak. 83 degrees right now. It's actually gone up a little bit since the start of the show. I think that said 80. Wow, that also just changed. It just went from sunny to mostly cloudy. So our graphics appear to be changing a little bit on me. It's giving me a little bit of shock. But notice on your satellite and radar, we have these upper level clouds slowly drifting to our east. Not even sure it was actually raining in Tallahassee earlier today. Gonna have to go back and check the METAR on that. But the water vapor might support it. We did have a little bit of enhanced water vapor, but notice we have some dry air coming in behind us, and that is what is going to keep conditions sunny here for the next week. Noticing on our wind speed map, there are some conflicting wind directions, and that is going to occur because of the sea breeze process, which we have discussed a little bit earlier. Onshore flow in St. Mark's and Apalachicola, northerly flow from Georgia, and that's going to create sort of this boundary over the I-10 corridor where we might see some pop-up showers. In regards to our temperatures, it's going to be in the 80s across the area with Thomasville at the low of 79. And then for our dew points, that is also going to reflect that moisture. And you can even really see that sea breeze curving along Perry and Tallahassee, and that's going to be where there's that little sort of brighter signature there, and that's going to be where the moisture from the ocean is being advected northwards. And when you combine that moisture with our temperatures, we get a little bit of a heat index that's a few degrees higher than what our temperature was. So it's a little bit muggy outside, but not enough to make you sweat. The future radar is this is the graphic I've been so excited for the rest of the show, because it shows that these clouds are moving in all types of different directions, and that's why we are not getting the severe weather risk that our counterparts over in Oklahoma and up in Indiana have been getting as of late. And that's because since the clouds are moving in different directions at different levels, that means there's some wind speed shear, and that's going to prevent thunderstorms from being able to form effectively. Taking it through the day tomorrow, as a result, it's going to be sunny, sunny, and then more sunny, and temperatures are going to warm up as they should throughout the day. For the rest of the week, though, 88 seems to be the number of the week. The magic 8 ball is going hard right now. 88, 88, 88, 88, sun, 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 and then eventually, as we head into Saturday, could see a pop-up shower, but thankfully, you're not going to get rained on in the stadium because we are on a bye football weekend. And for more on student life, here is Allie Ann and Jesse with the closing desk.
Thank you for that closer look at the local weather, Jonathan. We had a great show today, didn't we?
Yes,
Jesse?
we really did.
Some
it was
great
wonderful.
topics.
We had some exciting weather too, because I know we're going to see that severe weather again over the next couple days out in the Midwest, and then also here, no rain for this week. Thank goodness.
What a great day or great week to live in Florida.
I know, honestly. Like I said, I'm definitely going to take advantage of this weather. I know I'm headed to Panama City Beach this weekend. Temperature's looking great. Going to be really similar to what we're seeing here in Tallahassee. So it's going to be a beautiful weekend. If you guys also want to go to the beach, go to the res, do some on Landis.
Looks like I need to make some weekend plans.
Yeah, for real. No game this weekend, like Jonathan just said. So you really have a whole Saturday to do whatever you want.
The world is your oyster with this kind of weather.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But even looking into Sunday, too, we're seeing dry conditions as well. And throughout the week, the only thing I'm not looking forward to is just that we're going to see temperatures close to 90 once again. I was really looking forward to that fall weather. But the good news is overnight temperatures are going to stay pretty low. And I wake up early, so that means I'm going to be able to feel that weather hit the 60s, hopefully.
Not only that, the tropics are so quiet right now, we don't have anything to really look at.
I know. 3 years ago yesterday, once again, we had that Hurricane Michael death. They're still recovering. I know that my grandparents live near the area as well, and their area is still recovering. So I'm definitely thankful that we're not seeing another Michael brewing out there. Can't complain.
Go ahead and give us a follow on Twitter at FSU Weather.
And don't forget to also like us on Facebook, facebook.com/FSU Weather. And
while you're at it, go ahead and watch our live streams on YouTube at FSU Weather.
And don't forget, follow us on Instagram. I actually just posted about if you want to send us a picture of your dog, we use it on air. But for now, I'm student meteorologist Jessica Kirk.
I'm student meteorologist Allie McCord.
Have a great night.